Did you know that Saint Faustina Kowalska received heavenly messages on how to use the Rosary in times when darkness seems to be gaining ground? What you are about to discover is not just any devotion. It is a secret guide revealed to one of the most mystical souls of the 20th century to invoke a divine protection that transcends logic, time, and space. And yes, the month of August is key. Many believe that it is enough to pray the Rosary automatically. But Faustina wrote something in her diary that few know. The Rosary, when offered with true intention during certain periods of the year, can become a real shield against invisible attacks. And what happens in August? August is a month marked by the Assumption of Mary. It is a time when the heavens open, but also when the soul must be more alert. Because when the light intensifies, the shadows also stir. Today, I will reveal what you should do with your Rosary during this month, following the direct teachings of Saint Faustina, to seal yourself in grace, attract divine mercy, and protect yourself spiritually. And before you continue, write in the comments, "Jesus, I trust in you," if you wish to activate this divine protection in your life from now on. Saint Faustina Kowalska was not just another nun in the history of the Church. She was a chosen one, a bearer of heavenly messages so profound that Jesus himself asked her to share his mercy with all of humanity. Her spiritual diary, which exceeds 600 pages, is full of mystical visions, divine messages, and warnings that we are only now beginning to fully understand. In her writings, Saint Faustina revealed that there are specific times of the year when the human soul is more exposed to spiritual influences, both of light and darkness. One of those moments is the month of August. August is deeply marked by the Assumption of the Virgin Mary, an event that symbolizes elevation, purification, and victory over death. It is a month when heaven draws closer to earth, but that also means that the forces contrary to the divine stir, seeking to weaken the faith of the most sensitive. Saint Faustina understood this. She felt in her body the spiritual changes that were happening around her. That is why she intensified her prayer in August. And not with just any prayer. With the Rosary, offered not only for herself but for those who needed it most. Prayer beads, did you already know this about the month of August? Tell me in the comments. I want to know how many of you already felt something special in this month, even if you couldn't explain it. In one of her most impactful diary entries, Saint Faustina wrote, "I saw how a light came out of each bead of the Rosary when it was prayed with true faith, and the demons fled from its radiance as from an invisible flame." These were not metaphors. For her, the Rosary was not a simple devotional object but a living source of spiritual power, an instrument delivered by heaven to repel evil and attract mercy. During the month of August, this force is amplified. Because while the Church honors the figure of Mary, the mother who crushes the serpent's head, her devotees receive a special portion of protection, as long as they ask for it with sincerity. Faustina understood that the Rosary had a greater purpose than the mechanical repetition of prayers. For her, each bead was a spark of light, an invocation that crossed dimensions and touched forgotten souls, wounded hearts, and also protected the one who prayed it. And this is the secret that many have forgotten. It's not just about praying, but how you do it. The intention, the faith, the surrender make the Rosary a luminous barrier. Prayer beads, do you have a Rosary with you right now? Pick it up. Feel its weight, its texture. It is no coincidence that you are here, listening to this at this very moment. Maybe it's an invitation to awaken a protection that you have had dormant for years. Saint Faustina did not teach rigid formulas, but she left clear signs of how to use the Rosary as a true spiritual shield. She understood that prayer, when it comes from the soul, transforms the entire atmosphere. And during August, every word spoken with faith is raised with greater power. Here I share with you, inspired by her revelations, the protection ritual you can activate during this month. Small blue diamond 1. Purify your intention. Before picking up the Rosary, place a hand over your chest and say aloud, "Jesus, I trust in you." These words open a direct channel to divine mercy. Don't do it out of routine. Do it as if your spiritual life depended on it, because it does. Small blue diamond 2. Touch the Rosary with both hands. Saint Faustina said that physical contact was part of the spiritual commitment. Feeling the beads with your fingers is more than a gesture. It is a way to root faith in your body and spirit. Small blue diamond 3. Choose a sacred time. The hour of mercy, at 3 p.m., is the moment when Jesus died out of love for humanity. Praying at that time amplifies the spiritual effect, as revealed by the saint. Small blue diamond 4. Offer each mystery for others. Here is the key. Don't just pray for yourself. Pray for those who suffer, for those who are far from God, for those who have hurt you. Mercy multiplies when you stop thinking about yourself. While you perform this act, visualize a white light descending on your home, enveloping it like a shield that nothing can penetrate. You don't need to see anything with your physical eyes. You will feel the peace. Folded hands, and if you are going to start this ritual today, comment below, Saint Faustina, guide me in prayer. You are not alone. Theories are not enough. When the soul puts into practice what heaven teaches, the fruits manifest. And this is what thousands of people have experienced who, by following the teachings of Saint Faustina, have seen visible and invisible miracles. One of the most moving testimonies comes from Poland, Faustina's homeland, where a woman recounted that during World War II, her family began to pray the Rosary daily, following the saint's model. Their home was the only one on the entire street that was not hit by the bombings. Not a broken window. Not an injury. The woman did not attribute this to luck, but to the power of the Rosary prayed with faith, as an invisible shield in the midst of chaos. But not all miracles are seen with the eyes. Many feel a deep internal transformation. People who live distressed by fear, anxiety, or guilt, and who, upon starting this daily ritual, began to sleep in peace, forgive old wounds, and regain spiritual balance. Saint Faustina said that the greatest protection was not what is seen, but what is felt deep in the soul. And that peace, when it comes, is the confirmation that you are accompanied. Sparkles, have you experienced something special when praying the Rosary? A sign, an answer, a calm you didn't expect? Write your testimony in the comments. You don't know how many souls can find hope by reading you. Spiritual shielding is not just about praying. It is about living as if your every action were a silent prayer. It is about being awake. It is about turning August into an altar. Saint Faustina understood this. That's why she didn't just pray the Rosary. She lived it. She breathed it. Her way of speaking, of looking, of walking through the convent, everything was an extension of her union with Jesus. You too can begin this journey during this sacred month. Here I share 3 simple practices, inspired by her teachings, that you can apply every day of August. Dove, pray at least one mystery every day, with clear intention. It doesn't matter if it's brief. What matters is your inner surrender. Pray with your heart, as if each word were building a fortress of light around you. Droplet, use holy water every night before you sleep. Make the sign of the cross with it on your forehead and chest. Not as a soulless habit, but as an act of living faith. Saint Faustina used these sacramentals as extensions of divine love. Person in bed, place your Rosary under your pillow. As you do, repeat, Jesus, I trust in you. And sleep knowing that you are not alone. The soul that sleeps with faith rests under the custody of heaven. Saint Faustina wrote, the soul that trusts in my mercy will not be defeated. You are that soul. Speech balloon, if you are going to shield yourself this month, comment Amen below and commit to yourself. May your Rosary not be an ornament, but your shield. We have seen that the Rosary, under the guidance of Saint Faustina, is not a simple repetition, but a living shield. It is a spiritual weapon forged in faith, intention, and mercy. August, with its special connection to the Assumption of Mary, becomes the perfect time to activate this power. You don't need to wait for chaos to knock on your door. Spiritual protection is an act of foresight, trust, and love. By offering each Hail Mary, you are not only praying for yourself but also joining an invisible chain of souls who, like the family in Poland, are sealing their lives and homes with the light of divine mercy. This month, your Rosary can be more than an object. It can be a beacon in the darkness, an armor against the invisible. Saint Faustina's message is clear. Trust in Jesus is our greatest strength. And through the hands of Mary, that trust becomes an impregnable refuge. Now you have two options. You can close this video and continue as usual, leaving your spiritual protection to chance. Or you can pick up your rosary, purify your intention, and begin today to live the ritual of divine protection, as taught by Saint Faustina. Choose the second option and join this movement of light.